USA Philippines started in the US? Would you tell us more
Um,
about that?
yeah, so I think that Arnold, the owner of Miss World Philippines in the Philippines, he recently became the owner of Miss World Philippines 2 years ago. And so he branched out to somebody in the USA to start that so that we can have more foreign people, more Filipino Americans abroad or from other countries as well, come in to the Philippines and compete as well to show that, the Philippines still has pride all around the world. So he came to the United States, he got somebody here to start it, and then it's actually only been a pageant here for 2 years. And I was the second winner of the USA pageant.
Oh, that's interesting. So will there be 2020 for Miss World Philippines USA?
Yes, there will. They were supposed to do it in the summer as well, but obviously, of course, due to the pandemic, that had to be pushed back. But I know that they're still constantly looking for more contestants to compete. So we just have to wait and see when Miss World Philippines will be announced so that we can hold the pageant Miss World Philippines USA here as well. So I've basically been a queen for 2 years, almost 2 years.
Since you were
No
supposed
one's
to,
taking my spot, yeah.
since you were supposed to compete for Miss World Philippines, how to call this pageant, right? That was supposed to be
Mhm.
this year. How ready
Yes.
were you to join for that competition?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
How ready were you to join for that competition, just in case there was
Oh,
a pandemic?
no, I was super ready to compete. I was prepared. I was training all the time. I was training for hours. I had like a pageant coach here in the US when I went over to the Philippines as well and did my advocacy mission over there in Manila and Bislig. I met up with like pageant people there as well. I met with the Miss World Philippines organization already. So I was really in it like mentally wise as well, physically wise. And then COVID happened, but I'm still pushing. I'm still, doing as much as I can to prepare so that anytime they announce it, I'll be ready to go.
Would you tell us more, Suzanne, like something to share for the local? Like I myself really didn't know what exactly why exactly there is beauty pageants. You know what I mean? Like why is it relevant to our country? Yeah, why is it there is Miss
Joining since I was 17. So I've experienced many, many different systems, but Miss World is actually the one organization that I told myself ever since I was a little girl that that was the one I wanted to join because I strongly believe in their advocacy and their mission. Miss World stands for social rights, like human rights, and it stands for, helping humans the world while other pageants have different advocacies. And my advocacy is promoting awareness for special needs. So being able to help people has always been my number one passion. And Miss World just fit in perfectly with that. And so I think it's super relevant. So many of these girls, especially in the Miss World organization, have done amazing things for not only the Philippines, but the world just by contributing to humanity.
Wow.
For it, might as well.
Well, Pia Wurtzbach actually joined twice for I think that was Binibining Pilipinas.
Binibining, yes, she did. I think it was 3 or 4 times actually.
Yeah, wow, that was
Until she finally won, yeah.
So, what do you think? Who's your pick? Would you choose Catriona style or Pia style?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question. I look up to both of them so much, but I don't know. Like pageant style, like walk wise, and just like stage appearance. I think I would pick Catriona, but for like pageant advocacy wise, I can't pick between the two because they're both such amazing human beings and they both strongly believe in their causes, which is something I look up to.
Okay, wow, that's so great. It's a very fair answer.
Yeah, I can't pick between. They're both queens.
Yeah, just to ask further, like for people in the local, like especially in the Philippines, there are really parts of the Philippines that aren't really aware of advocacies, things like this. So how do you play as a beauty queen? Especially when you actually won for the Miss World Philippines USA. Can you tell us more about how did you actually raise funding and support technically calamities that had happened in the Philippines, and how do you do that?
Yeah, so I know that when I was supposed to go to the Philippines to spread my advocacy of special needs, I was going to visit different special needs schools, adoption centers, orphanages where they have special needs children and, provide my resources for them, and then also donate money as well and visit the kids and just, enjoy my time with them. But when I was supposed to go there, I believe the volcano happened. The Taal volcano erupted in the Philippines. And so the moment I heard about that, I held so many fundraisers here in America. I actually raised $8,000 to donate.
Wow.
For the Taal volcano relief. And then when I went there to the Philippines, the first thing I did was actually volunteer at a lot of the relief centers.
Wow, that's so great. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't say that was a bad timing, but that was actually more reasons for you to be pushed on what you should do then. Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't stop my trip from happening.
For how many times do you come back and forth to the Philippines? For how many times have you been back here?
I actually, in the past 5 years, I've only gone twice, but every time that I've gone, I've stayed there for a long period of time. I know back in 2017, I stayed there for 5 to 6 months, actually. And then recently, I only stayed there for a month, but every day was jam-packed. I was doing my advocacy every day. I was, meeting with people every single day. I was pageant training every single day. So when I'm there, every single day is just 24/7 filled with activities.
What do you advise aspiring beauty queens or beauty, I don't know how you call that. What do we advise these, aspiring beauty queens to be like, just like you, who won these pageant, Miss World Philippines, USA, whether from the Philippines or in the US, right? Because there's a lot of Filipinos already in the US. For sure, they're going to be, looking forward to join this coming, probably the future in the next probably couple of years, right? After this pandemic, there will be another Miss World Philippines.
Yes.
What do you advise them to do to be mentally prepared or to be ready from within?
I would just advise them to just be fully confident in who you are inside. I know that when I started out pageants, especially as a Filipino American, I was influenced by a lot of, westernized stereotypes that brought my self-esteem down, brought my confidence down to the point where I don't know if I haven't really told anybody this, but the day before Miss World Philippines USA, I almost dropped out of the competition because I didn't believe in myself. But, I really took a look in the mirror. I knew that I was ready. The most important thing is to strongly believe in your advocacy and know that you're doing it for a purpose. I knew that I was joining because I really, really wanted to be a voice for a lot of people who don't have a voice. And so with that mentality in my head, I ended up winning the entire competition. And so for these girls, you just got to go for it. Believe in yourself. Believe that you're beautiful, strong, and confident. Don't let anybody bring you down. And if you go for it, you'll always succeed no matter what the outcome is. I spoke with my province back in the Philippines, Bislig. At Miss World Philippines, I'm actually going to represent Bislig, my hometown, in exchange for USA, just to, get in touch more with my roots and be the first representative for my province.
Wow, that's really, really great. I'm like, what surprised me is the idea that you share, like, you're almost gonna drop out or probably you wanted to you don't want to compete at that moment. Like, what you mean about?
There was a lot of background noise in my head. I was getting negative comments from other people. I was looking at myself in the mirror, comparing myself to other beauty queens and thinking, I don't look like them. I'm not as skinny as them. My skin color is not as white as theirs. And so I just got into my head. Yeah, all the stereotypes, yes. But like I said, you really just have to believe in your own beauty. You have to recognize that, everything you have is who you are. And, you can't compare yourself to anybody at all. And once I hit that realization, I was in it for the crown, and it ended up working well for me.
Wow, and that's basically because you believe in yourself. I think sometimes when you are being tested and you're being challenged, that's the time you actually get more strength to push through. You know what I mean? Like, I really do believe in that too. And I think you are a true winner by heart because you made it there, right? And yeah, wow, that was amazing. Actually, I'm speechless. Philippines then.
How did I see the Philippines from being born in the USA?
Yes.
Well, I was born in a very Americanized part of California, where there weren't a lot of people of color around me. I didn't really see a lot of people that looked like me. So, it was really hard for me to get in touch with my culture at first because it's hard to represent something that you don't see. But, as I started growing older, I realized how important how important it is to get in touch with your culture and really, understand who you are deep down. I got super involved in my Filipino community. I joined any organization that I could. I started doing Filipino pageants. I met everybody in the Filipino community around me. And I can say ever since then, I've been a lot more open-minded as a human being. I've been more understanding. I've developed more empathy. I think that racism really is a big issue here in America. I haven't personally experienced it myself, but I know so many people who have. And it's really important to just, understand that there are people, everybody's different. Not everybody is the same. And, we got to stick up for each other. We have to stand up for each other. And we got to embrace ourselves and other people's cultures in order to truly be understanding and empathetic as a human being.
How will you deal with discrimination?
How do I deal with it?
Yes.
I always stand up against it. Anytime I see any discrimination online, in person, towards anybody, not even just Filipinos, but any other minority in general, I always have to stand up against it because I am truly against that. I am a firm believer in equality. So, you just always got to speak up and don't let it fly by. Stand up for yourself.
Oh, wow, it's really wow. Like, when did you start actually realize that you can be a queen?
Well, when I first started doing pageants when I was 17 years old, I have to be honest, I didn't believe that I was a queen at all. My self-esteem was super low. I didn't believe that I was beautiful. I didn't believe that I was confident, but being surrounded by so many other women who, empower you, encourage you, uplift you, and really make you feel beautiful inside and out, I was able to start seeing, the queen in me. And once I found my passion of helping special needs children, that's when I knew that, being a queen was what I was meant to do.
Wow, you're really a queen. I can tell. I think you're gonna win Miss World Philippines.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just so looking forward for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do so far during this pandemic? What keeps you busy?
Yeah, so I'm actually a full-time student at Cal State Fullerton, which is a university here in California. I am in my last year to get my bachelor's degree in speech language pathology. And next year, I'm going to be starting my master's degree to become a speech language pathologist. So I've been working on that so that I can also pursue my passion as working for special needs children and helping them in a way where I'll be able to help them become valuable to the world.
Wow, I mean, like, it's my first time to hear about speech pathologies. Would you tell me about more about
that?
Oh,
really? Yeah. So speech language pathology, they're specialized clinicians in communication. So, for example, there are different places that you can work in. If you're working at a school, which is what I really want to do, I'll be working with special needs children, such as children with autism, and helping them develop their communication skills, their interaction skills, so that they can communicate more better with other people. And also, if kids have stuttering issues, I help them with exercises to do that. Also, if you work at a hospital, if somebody gets into an accident and they get traumatic brain injuries or strokes and lose their ability to speak, I'm the person that comes in and helps them regain that ability. So I work with them. Anything that has to do with communication, that's what I work with.
Oh, I mean, like, okay, it's your first time to actually,
really learn about it. Yeah.
Other that, yeah.
I know they have those in the Philippines. They have SLPs in the Philippines, but it's not a big career there.
Yeah, but you know what? So since everything's online right now, we can really promote that in time, and you can really use your voice. One of the first, especially Filipino American.
Yeah.
To basically be the, let's say, the model for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited you could obtain that degree and then come up with really pushing through stuff in the social media where you could really be share your voice about your ideas, your thoughts, and your basically your studies, and how will you apply that to
Yeah, and also
Everyone.
it's really important to me to be, a Filipino American in this field too as a speech language pathologist, because actually 93% of speech language pathologists in all of America are white. So there's
Wow.
7-8% of people who are colored, and with the billions of people in this country, that's nearly nothing. So, being able to bring diversity into that as well is really important to me.
If I may ask you something, are you a social media person?
Yes, I am. I am.
How do you actually utilize social media today?
Today, I make sure I use social media in a way that's always, as a way of influence or empowering other people by what I post. I know that social media can be a drag sometimes, and it's so easy to only see the negative or to only see people who are posting negative things. But, so with social media being the number one tool right now for communication, and also being someone who is in a field for communication, I believe it's so important to, post things that you truly believe in, that are uplifting, empowering, speaking up for what you believe in, while at the same time not bringing other people down. So, as long as you're using it for something that's good, then that's great.
Well, I think while even you're studying, you can already promote and utilize the power of social media today to
Mm-hmm.
share to them what you do and what is speech pathology, things like this. Because again, in the Philippines, their first time to hear that. There's
Mm-hmm.
no, yeah. Well, but I think it's actually a need. Being a
Yes.
company that is the call center, we are really focused actually in teaching. How to call it, the locals, the young professionals in the area to be more interactive, and they must really work on their communication skills, because again,
Yeah.
English is the international language. Like, well, you're so lucky and fortunate enough that you born in America, but most of us haven't gone there, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just myself, I dream to actually visit there sometime, but because of the pandemic I
Oh,
wasn't able to do
yeah.
so.
The price is that bad.
Yeah, I already got a business ticket going there. I mean, a business
Oh,
visa.
bummer.
Yeah, and then but then
Ah,
I couldn't. I'm supposed to visit you there.
oh
With your
no.
mom. Yeah, but it
Oh,
got canceled. So that's crazy, right? Like, really, if I'm gonna, I'll put myself into your shoe. You're like, wow, despite all these things that you really have to adjust with what's the culture you're in, well, you were born in, but you're definitely a Filipino. You know what I mean? Like, it was tough.
mm-hmm.
I'm even trying hard to speak Native American. How do
Oh,
you
really?
how do you rate my accent?
It's perfect. It's good. It's good. You can barely tell.
But I
Hey,
was I was really just born in Mindanao, and we're all from
wow.
Mindanao. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
haven't got
your English accent's really good.
Thank you so much for that. That's really great to get a heads up from
Yeah.
you, because you're really born from there. And
Yeah, no, trust me, it's very good. It's a lot. Really, it's like better than a lot of Filipinos that already live here.
yeah, thank you so much for that. So yeah, well, I think your family in time, and we can give you a tour on where the
Hmm.
Tagalog city is. It's in the Mono Norte. You can Google that. Every time I talk to my client in the U.S. as the company, I say, hey, we're just an hour away from the capital city of the Philippines, Manila, because we never say that. Hey, we're in Mindanao. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, post there.
I'm all over her social media, so
Yeah, would you tell us, like, in terms of social media, are you active with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? What are the social medias are you using platforms?
yeah. So mainly, I'm focused on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, I have my public page of Miss Suzanne Perez, or Suzzane Macias Perez, Miss World Philippines USA. But ever since the pandemic happened, I haven't been really able to update that account because I can't, go out and do the events that I'm supposed to be doing right now. But on Instagram, you can find me under Suzanne Perez, and I'm more active on that. I post on my story all the time, so people can see that stuff. And
Yeah,
I post
I
a lot
should.
about like my pageants, my modeling. I did a photo shoot yesterday, so that's on my Instagram right now, and everyone can follow that and see.
Okay, so I should really, follow you now.
Yeah.
Okay, again, what's your IG?
It's Suzanne Perez, my name, and then there's 2 underscores at the end. Suzanne Perez __.
Oh, I got you. All right, I'm following you there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, let's invite as well everyone to follow Suzzane Perez
Yes,
on
please.
IG, and of course
Yeah.
we're also gonna promote you on your Facebook. And
Yeah,
see,
follow my journey to Miss World Philippines whenever it is.
we are excited to support you all the way down for your
Thank you.
win for the Miss
So
World
excited.
Philippines. That's 100% sure. And we with MSY Media Production, we are a local digital media streaming, and what we really wanted to do is to promote or feature just like you, a beauty queen that is a Filipina but is in America and who won the pageant. So you are going to be really the voice and a model for the people in our area, and I'm sure they are all aiming to become just like you, or
Yeah.
like anyone like Pia Wurtzbach or like Catriona Gray, and a lot more. Like if you were gonna be invited to be on TV, would you want to be on TV?
Yeah, for sure. It really depends on what it would be for, but when I was I've done some like acting, I've done some modeling, hosting. So, I am used to being in front of the camera, being in front of video. So, that could be something that interests me.
Yeah, in terms of acting, would you tell us a little bit of acting tips or whatever? How do you go with acting? It's quite hard. Not everyone can do that. Not all beauty queens can
It is
act.
hard. Yeah, and it's definitely, not my strength. But, I've done like commercials before, but mainly when it comes to like TV shows and all that, my main thing is hosting. It is a lot easier for me to, speak on the spot and, come up with things like on the spot and do hosting aside from, like memorizing things. So when it comes to acting, I wouldn't say I could become an actress, but when it comes to TV shows, I could do like reality TV or something, anything where I can, be myself and not be a character.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually very famous here in the Philippines, joining a reality show like Survivor, or can be
Yeah,
Big Brother. Big Brother,
a
yeah.
lot of people have told me to do that one, but
I think you're gonna be one of the contestants for PBB. I'm gonna choose you up there too for ABS-CBN. But sad to say, there's no more ABS-CBN. It's
oh no.
it's more like a to C channel. They're actually now an A to C channel. But GMA is one of the best network that we could get
It
in.
is. I do. Yeah. When I went to the Philippines, I actually went on the set of GMA. I know one of the hosts there. So, I got to interact with a lot of people from GMA and, even speak with like one of the agents for GMA. So,
That's
that's also a possibility if I ever go back, but who knows?
In terms of hosting, what do you think are your strengths in terms of hosting? Would you like to host corporate events aside from the gala nights, whatever?
Yeah, I think I can do a variety of hosting. I've done, literally almost every aspect of hosting, but my strength is I'm really good at speaking on the spot, coming up with things, engaging with the audience, and being able to communicate because of course that's what I study. So, that's always helpful for me.
Wow, you really love impromptu questions, right?
Yes.
You're gonna be the next Catriona Gray. Actually
Yeah, I look up to her. She's so good at speaking.
Yeah.
Her skills are amazing.
Yeah, true. I think the confidence is really like up.
That really is all it is. You just got to be confident in what you're saying. Even if what you're saying isn't, completely there, if you're confident, that's all people see.
Yeah, by the way, there's one question here that I was caught in, and I want to ask these questions to you since earlier that I was actually trying to find it. Now here you go. Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What important quality should a leader display amidst a pandemic?
Important qualities that a leader should display in a pandemic. I think that it's so important for leaders during this pandemic, but just in general, hold the same qualities that you hold back then and back now to, just be empathetic. That's what I believe is the most important thing, to have understanding, compassion for other human beings. What you do in this pandemic can affect other people. And that's the most important thing to know, being able to, understand that you can't, go out, not wear a mask and, infect other people if you don't care about other people's well-beings, if you know what I'm saying. Just being empathetic, being compassionate, That's important for a leader because you influence other people. When people see you following the rules, lessening the spread of the pandemic, then through social media, then they'll follow you. But if they see you going out, being careless, not doing anything, not caring about other people's lives, then they're going to follow you as well. So as a leader, you just got to show compassion for, other humans' lives around you because this pandemic is serious, of course.
Well said. Yeah, well, I think I get your point right there. It's more like the empathy and the compassion, things like this. Like they should.
What it all leads down to, yeah.
Yeah. Since your leader there is Trump, the president is actually got infected with corona. What are your comments about that?
I don't want to get too political about it, but I think a lot of people saw that our president didn't really believe in the virus and the pandemic. He didn't take any precautions to protect himself or the people around him. He didn't really listen to science, didn't listen to a lot of people around him. And then he ended up getting a virus that he believed was fake. So like I said, once again, it all really comes down to having compassion for other people. If you don't have compassion, even if you don't believe it, you have to do what you can do to lessen it. So, I think the fact that he didn't believe it and he got it should be a message to, everybody in the United States that this is a real pandemic, this is a real virus, and it's serious.
That's really true. Wow. Mm-hmm. I'm also surprised about that. And I think the Philippines were also surprised to know that Trump did. And
everybody was shocked
too. Yeah, we actually look up to Trump because his demand, the United States. So I think that's something really, shook us when we heard about that. By the way, to move forward, can we actually get a little message from you? Understanding that we are a small digital streaming media. Again, we would like to thank you for for allowing us to, to get a little bit of conversation and glance into you, knowing you more of today. And I can really see that potential in you that you're going to be a queen. You're going to be a queen for sure. That's actually, it's more of it's not about always about the look. It's really more of your heart, what's in your heart and the reason why you're doing it. So I think you're on your goal. And no one's stopping us, right? No one's stopping us despite
nobody's stopping me at all.
Despite that there is pandemic, we're for sure looking forward that there will be Miss World Philippines, and we're hoping because you're the definite contestant for the Miss World Philippines.
Yes, the only contestant so far of the pageant. Which is what they said, but there's been a lot of waves, a lot of surges. I don't know about the Philippines, but over here, so. If I don't get to compete this year, there's always next year. They have that spot open for me regardless. Mm-hmm. So, I just want to, make sure everything's okay. I'm doing what I can to be safe. I'm not compromising the health of anybody else. So, whether it'll be this year or next year, I'm for sure going. I just don't know when, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, that's so great to hear.
Know much about it yet, but with everything online, it's just document everything online, like everything. TV shows have all moved online as well. So, it's a great platform to be able to do what you love, media.